All right, once again, these guys will have to qualify in the top 3 or finish the top 3, and they will then transfer on to their 12-lap main event. So this will be interesting. Let's take a look at the starting lineup there as you see them negotiate that one left-hander out on the turn 2, and they head down the backstretch. They're in their individual cars now with their names on the side of them. And, of course, starting up front on the inside of row 1 is George Fulmer, who was the fast qualifier. And look at that, alongside Parnelli Jones, Bob Aiken, and alongside was David Pearson and Ed McCullough. So once again, these guys...
It says odd qualifiers. Gary, that means these are the guys that qualified 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So this is, they took every other one, put them in every other heat race, and in these races, they're going to start straight up.
Of course, and sometimes in racing, the odd... never mind. I won't get into that. So you're right. These are the 1, 2, 1, 3, and on down, but... Let's go back. I know we've got a good audience there in Brainerd. Dave McClellan, you're turning.
Dave, let me tell you what's going on here in Brainerd. Everybody's got it figured out. They qualified number 9 and number 10. The reason for that is so they'd be in separate heat races and both could advance to the final. Talking about qualifying, they have had some great action here at Brainerd and the Champion Auto Stores Nationals. In qualifying today, Eddie Hill put his Pennzoil dragster into the number 2 spot. He ran in a lapse time of 4.85 seconds, trailing the number 1 qualifier, Scott Coletta, by only 1/100th of a second. A tremendous run by Eddie Hill. Then Ed McCullough came in and qualified in the 12th spot with a 5:06. So they've spent the entire day doing qualifying. Right now, the crowd's watching. We're ready for the heat race. Let's go back to Indy.
Yeah, we're racing a single file start for the qualifiers, a side-by-side start for the feature. And, of course, Fulmer out in front in car number 7. Jones rides in second.
Well, Fulmer and Jones are out there 1 and 2. Aiken's the man on the bubble. He's the guy that's got Pearson on his bumper. And I'll tell you what, whenever you got David Pearson on your bumper, you better be looking in the mirrors, boy.
Well, right now, Fulmer is really taking off, but a sizable gap between his position and that of Parnelli. Parnelli right now rides in second, and look at that gap. The second, third, and fourth cars are right together on the racetrack.
Yeah, I got to feel like Parnelli had a little trouble with his gearing or something, getting the gears. Look at Pearson on the outside of Aiken going in there.
Can he make it?
Oh,
no, he can't do it. He almost loses that position. Oh, that was a gutsy move on the inside of a left-hander, and he lost a lot of parcel of property right there.
He sure did, but I'll tell you what, that was a gutsy move. He knew he couldn't make it on the inside. The outside, he had to give her a shot, but he got on the binders, so he didn't get out there. It's a little muddy out there. If he gets off the track, he's going to be stuck, so he had to get on the binders and let him have the position back.
Once again, an 8-lap qualifier. The first 3 finishers will transfer to the main event and run for $100,000. And there is a look at Parnelli Jones, the 1963 Indy 500 champion. That car's a whole lot more expensive than old Calhoun that he drove to victory that year.
Yeah, it sure is, but I'll tell you what, he's driving that baby every bit as hard as he drove old Calhoun. Now look at McCullough. He's qualified the slowest qualifier in his group, but he's right on the bumper. Pearson coming off that corner. I think he's a little better in the racing than he is at the qualifying. He's not used to that qualifying stuff at all.
Well, Fulmer has the big lead. He's got almost a straightaway advantage right there over Jones. But look at the battle back there for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And here comes the number 5 car of Pearson on the outside.
And McCullough, every one of those last 3 guys smoked the tires going in there. They were all trying to outbrake the other one, and McCullough was the big loser. Those other 2 guys did get him wounded, did get him turned, but McCullough just couldn't make it, and that's really going to hurt his chances of getting into the finals.
Well, he drops way back with that miscue. So take a look at the ace through the chicane section out onto turn 2 of the oval.
Look at this battle up here. We got it coming off of 3 and 4. Pearson is caught back up with Bob Aiken. He tried him a little bit on the outside. Look at Aiken protect his position. That's the last position that makes it into the final. He pulled down to protect that position, and Pearson was really working on him. He had him a little bit on the high side going through 3 and 4 down there.
How wide can a jag be?
Well,
we're going to find out.
That's what you call a jag-zag, man. Instead of a zigzag, he did a jag-zag coming down that main straightaway to keep him from going down underneath it.
Well, of course, he was working the outside. Pearson kept trying the outside going into that first corner. Let's see what he tries now as they work on lap number 5. This is the battle for the 3rd and final transfer position.
Yeah, Pearson really gains on him coming off through the middle of 3 and 4 and getting down into 1, but he doesn't seem to be getting off of this last part of the road course as quick. He seems to get through right here pretty good, but coming off of this next corner,
Aiken, he gets sideways.
That'll help Pearson.
He slid to the point that Pearson couldn't take advantage of because he's blocking the racetrack.
Well, he did block the racetrack a
the 4. Hang on, David Pearson, the Silver Fox.
Oh,
Can he make it? Whoa!
Oh, can he get her stopped? Can he get her out? He made it. He made it.
He does it. The fans are going wild here in the main grandstand at Raceway Park as the Silver Fox makes a daring move on the outside. He makes it work. He's up to 3rd, and he could be on his way to the finals.
Man, that was probably one of the best, cleanest, nicest, slickest passes we've seen in this series since we've been here. What a job.
White flag out now for your leader, and that is George Fulmer, our fast qualifier this evening, who's picked up $2,500 from GTE in the front runner award. There is Parnelli Jones back there in 3rd, or in 2nd, but here,
Look at Pearson.
Pearson closing in on Jones.
He's in 3rd. Ain't good enough. I got to get up there a little farther.
Now, is he going to try the same move on the outside going through 3 and 4? Is he going to be secure with 3rd position?
I don't know. Better safe than sorry is my motto, but we'll see what he thinks.
Of course, he has a mirror on that car. You can see the advantage he has over Bob Aiken. He has secured 3rd position. I think he's going to be content to ride back there in 3rd. And here is your checkered flags. George Fulmer takes the victory. There's his fiancée, Arlene, his son. A big hug there. His family in town from both Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Orange County, California. So George, the fast qualifier, takes the first qualifying heat race, and he will transfer to the main event that pays the big bucks. Of course, so will Parnelli Jones and David Pearson.
Well, I got to tell you, that pass Pearson made was one gutsy move. We've seen other guys try to run 2 abreast down there in 3 and 4, and it hasn't worked very often. He didn't have a lot of room, but he kept the race car straight. Aiken gave him just enough room. Watch this move. He drove that thing in there real high, real high. Aiken was down low on the racetrack trying to protect position. Look, Aiken moves up, but he just leaves him barely enough room. Hey, finally, I think they actually touched a little bit. That's when Aiken got out of the gas and just let him go. I think he thought he was going to crash that thing. Man, oh, man.
We don't do that in road racing.
Boy, I'll tell you what, that was slick. That was tough. And I'll tell you what, it had to get both their hearts started.
That'll make the highlight reel, won't it?
That certainly will. It certainly will.
Well, Fulmer picks up the victory as George will now, well, he's going to have a great starting position inside the front row for this $100,000 go. And, of course, we have the second 15-lap USAC Copenhagen Skull Midget qualifier. We have the second Fastmaster qualifier. And, of course, we're going to have a chance to talk to both David Pearson and George Fulmer and perhaps even Parnelli Jones. A whole lot more racing coming your way on the Mel Kenyon Classic night from Raceway. Top 3 finishers will transfer. And here they are. These are the even qualifiers. Bobby Unser in car number 6, Brian Redmond in number 3, David Hobbs in 5, Johnny Rutherford in 7, and Eddie Hill in 4. And that will be the lineup for 8 laps.
8 laps, and it's going to be an exciting 8 laps as we see Hobbs and Rutherford starting 3rd and 4th. Hill back there, those are going to be the guys that are kind of fighting it out. I think Unser and Redmond are probably going to try to slide into those first 2 positions and just kind of wait and see if anybody comes to challenge them. If nobody really gets close, they're just going to kind of ride along and do the best they can.
Well, let's quickly go back to Brainerd and Dave McClellan with the big fan club turnout up there to watch the Fastmasters.
Dave, they're here. Look at them. All of them still. All the yellow shirts as well. Rooting for Eddie Hill. The bright red McDonald's driver may be out, but Eddie Hill is still in, and we're hoping that he can pull off a win here in the heat race, at least get into the finals. The chant here has been Eddie. Right, listen. Eddie, 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 Eddie. So there you hear what they're thinking. Go back now to Larry and Gary.
Thanks, David. I think I saw in the crowd the snake there. Don Perdome was watching, and Cruz Pedregon, and all the drag racers are glued to the television set this evening to see how their boys do here this evening.
Hey, the Ace and Eddie have done their group proud. No matter what happens here tonight, they have done themselves proud just to make it this far, because there's a lot of great guys that didn't make it.
Green flag, Unser out in front, but once again it's Redmond and Hobbs, Rutherford, and Hill.
Yeah, Redmond, you know, these 2nd, 3rd, 4th, that seems to be the battle. Hill right behind him. He's not back too far either. So.
Oh, hang on, Eddie.
Came off there.
Eddie, the thrill, gave himself a thrill coming off the 2nd corner as he boogies down the backstretch in the silver Jag and enters turn 3. Now out in front with a comfortable lead right now is Bobby Unser. Riding in 2nd is Brian Redmond, as you had probably predicted. And then you have Hobbs running in 3rd. Now keep in mind that Hobbs and Rutherford were teammates at the Indy 500 back in 1974. And Hobbs finished 5th and Rutherford won it.
Well, I think that's going to be the real battle. I think Rutherford catches up there. He's a little bit back right now. But he and Hill race.
Well, Rutherford's kicking up the dirt as he goes off the chicane onto the oval part of the racetrack. As we take a look at Bobby Yu, the three-time Indianapolis 500 champion, 68, 75, and 81. One of two drivers to have won it in 3 different decades. He, to use your terminology, is trying to check out right now on it.
Well, he's not checking out too much. Brian Redman's pretty close to him, and so is Hobbs. You know, they're all pretty much, you know, within 2, 3, 4 car lengths of each other. But Bobby Unser right now, Brian Redman, those two guys especially, are thinking, don't make a mistake. Be smooth. Be careful. Don't run in there too hard and have to overbrake. They don't want to make any big mistakes because they know that they can make the feature race just by finishing where they're at. But look at this.
Look back into turn 4 and 3rd and 4th. The dark car, that would be Hobbs in 3rd position. The silver car, number 7, is Rutherford.
Yeah, Hobbs is moving down in the middle of the straightaway, Gary. You know, we talked about Aiken moving down there doing that jag-zag down the middle of the straightaway. Hobbs is going to protect that, getting into that first little sharp corner of the road course. But Rutherford's really caught up.
Rutherford's getting lower and lower and lower coming off the infield section.
Well, look how much deeper he gets into 3. He makes up a lot of ground getting into 3. He's way down on the flat part of the racetrack, though. Hobbs is up a little higher. He moves up high now. Get a little run off there. Still can't quite get close enough to make a shot at it.
But once again, these guys drew for these cars. These guys have not been in the cars before.
Right, and every one of these cars is a little bit different. No matter how much you try to make them exactly alike, they're still a little bit different. So it takes you 2 or 3 laps to get the feel to know what that race car likes. And every one of them you have to drive differently according to what it's doing, whether it's loose, whether it's pushing, or how much it's pushing down there, especially down here in 3 and 4.
Well, they're working on lap number 5 of an 8-lap race. We keep an eye now as we focus on that battle for the 3rd and final transfer position. David Hobbs, and look at Ursi. He says, come on, move up a little bit, Eddie.
She's trying to give Eddie all the help she can give him, you know. He's out there driving his heart out.
I want to tell a story about Eddie. When Eddie left Indianapolis the last weekend that he was racing here, on the airplane, Ursi.
Oh, there goes Rutherford. He hit that big bump down there, got her a little sideways, was on the gas at the same time, and put him right on around. That's a tough break. John just trying a little too hard. When you're in 4th spot, though, you got nothing to lose. You got to go for it.
Well, I was going to say, as we look at the Pennzoil crew there, when Eddie Hill was leaving the airport, he had a tear running down his eye, and Ursi said, Eddie, what's wrong? He said, this has been the greatest weekend, and that's when he transferred to the finals that weekend here at Raceway.
Well, I think everybody who has participated in this whole event has felt like it's been the most fun thing they've done in automobile racing, at least in the last few years. They've all had a real ball, and that's really been the unique, neat thing about this whole series, is the camaraderie amongst all these guys. And I'm the same way. I mean, some of these guys are my heroes. Some of them I've never met before, and I love being around them.
That was a quick shot of the fans that have gathered near the television set in Brainerd, Minnesota, where the NHRA All-Stars are running this weekend. And there is a look at car number 6. That is Unser. But look at Redman. Redman has closed right in. Could we have a challenge on the final lap? The white flag has been displayed. Only 3 transfer. Could we have a battle? I think Redman's smarter than that.
Well, I think Bobby probably took a little easy. Redman's just feeling his oats, wanting to see just how well he can do when it comes $100,000 time. And he's getting up there and giving old Bobby a run for his money right down here to the end.
There's a checkered flag. Bobby Yu takes it. Redman finishes in 2nd. And who comes down in 3rd but the other road racer in this one, David Hobbs.
Good old Hobbo. She made her, boy.
There's the guy that the waitress down in Sebring a couple of years ago recovering race thought he was Paul Hogan, Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
A nice round of applause from all the fans there in Brainerd. There's a look at Eddie.
Eddie brings her home 4th, did a good job. I tell you what, the drag racers, even though their 2 guys didn't get into the final race, got nothing to be but proud of those guys because they did the whole fraternity well.
And rightfully so. And there's a look at Bobby Unser, and he wins the heat number 2. So should be a very interesting 12-lap feature for $100,000.
Unser and Fulmer starting side by side for $100,000 with Jones right behind them. How would you like to be in that mess?
Well, you're at the right spot right now in front of your television set to watch it because we've got all the cameras all around the racetrack to catch all the action. Now, keep in mind, we still have the 40-lap Mel Kenyon Classic and the 12-lap Fastmasters Championship still coming up from Raceway Park.